You show up every week, you deliver real value, but you're still invisible. You're emailing consistently, but it feels like no one's listening. This video is for business owners who are doing the right thing, but they're still not seeing results. A short while ago, I decided to do something a little bit unconventional. I decided to email my list every single day. I had been in business for 5 years at that point, and up until then had been emailing my list inconsistently. If I had something to sell, I'd send an email. If I didn't have something to sell, I would just ghost my list for a while. But that all changed on January 1st, 2022, when I committed to sending a daily email. Now, my first attempt was to sound like a really smart marketer. And so email number one was my top 3 big marketing predictions for 2022. I did a bunch of research. I wanted to sound really smart and fancy and philosophical, real thought leadership stuff. And the next day, I sat down to write my email and I didn't know what to write. That cannon of influence only had one cannonball and I had shot it off the day before. So I knew if I was going to be consistent with my email strategy, I would have to take a different approach than being the smartest person in the inbox. And I chose to go down the path of telling simple stories. The thought leadership approach didn't work, and now my simple story-based emails have changed the way I email my list forever. Let's do some quick math. If you email your list every 2 weeks and somebody on your list misses that email, they're going to hear from you 2 weeks later when you send your other newsletter. And if they miss that one, now it's gone 6 weeks before they've heard from you. You completely disappear. That means that your best insights go unheard, and even worse, you start to lose perceived value. You don't just need more value in your email communication, you need more touch points. I want you to think about your email frequency as a form of trust and momentum. Remember that your audience values what they see often, and infrequent emails are forgettable by default. But there's an even bigger trap, and this one really messes with your head. Most weekly newsletters try to be the smartest email in the inbox, and that's exactly why they fail. That pressure to be smart and clever with your emails slows you down and it dilutes your voice, which ultimately disconnects you from your readers. You're not trying to win a Pulitzer Prize. As a business, you're trying to build a relationship with your audience. Like I said before in the video, my first attempt at daily emails, I was so proud of how smart it was and how well researched my email was. And the second day, I didn't have anything else to say, and I had to come up with a better method. And here's what that means. It turns out that your most valuable asset isn't about being smart, it's about being seen. So you don't need genius. You need rhythm. So how do you get into that consistent rhythm without burning yourself out? Here's what most people never figure out. There's an old saying in email marketing that emails from your mom get a 100% open rate. Why? Because they're personal. But most email newsletters, they sound more like announcements. They don't sound like conversations. And the minute you sound like a big box electronics retailer on Black Friday, you're done. Think about the email that you get from your local pizza shop. There's one here around the corner that we go to all the time. And so they send 9 emails a day, usually around dinner time, saying, doesn't pizza sound like a good idea? And it's filled with colorful graphics, different levels of coupons, announcing their specials for the week, telling you how quick their delivery can be, customer reviews, they're raising money for a charity. It's a lot. And instead of making your emails feel like an announcement or a newsletter, I want to give you a different frame. I grew up in the Dallas area, and my grandparents lived out east in a town called Tyler, Texas. And many summers, we would drive out about 2 hours from our home in Dallas to go see my grandparents. And they had about a 12-acre farm. On the farm, they always had about a dozen cows, a couple of horses, a few other animals, a rusty old orange tractor my grandfather would take us around on, and fun hay rides, a barn, that kind of thing. And one day I noticed in the field where the cows were, there were these blue, they looked honestly like pool chalk cubes. And I asked my grandpa what they were. They were these huge, 12 inches by 12-inch cubes dotted around the pasture where the cows were grazing. And I asked my grandfather what those were. He said that they were salt lick cubes, and the point of a salt lick cube is to make the horses and the cows thirsty so they would go drink out of the man-made pond that he had dug. I want you to think of your stories like that salt lick. Stories scale trust. Stories are the salt lick. They make your audience thirsty for more. And if you want to make sure that you never run out of story ideas, I packaged up 202 of my best story ideas, and you can get it for free at the link in the description. Your voice is your brand. Use it daily. And once you unlock that, everything else gets easier. Your emails aren't a newsletter. They're an authority engine. And every email you send without a clear point of view is a missed opportunity to lead your niche. An authority isn't about providing information, it's about providing transformation in the eyes of your reader. What changed my business wasn't writing daily, it was making people feel something daily. Your writing is your reputation, and reputation compounds with more frequency. So I want you to go from trying to be the smartest person in the inbox to creating this authority engine machine and being consistent. That's the answer. Most business owners wait too long to fix this until their list is dead. But now you know better. If you're not emailing your list daily, then you're going to want to make sure to check out the video that's on your screen next. It's the #1 mistake smart entrepreneurs make with their email strategy. Click it, and I'll share what it is right now. See you there.